What's good? BoxingFirstVlog back to hit you with another one too. Definitely wanted to go over this Virgil Ortiz Bohachuk fight. Did they get it right? We could talk about it, and I guess at the end of this video we'll come to a conclusion together. I watched the fight. It was gotta be, let me put this out there first, definitely gotta be fight of the year candidate. Over 1,500 punches thrown in this fight. Majority of them power shots. Definitely it was a decent scrap. Well deserved. Too bad it was for a quote unquote interim title, but this was definitely one of those, they came to win it for like a world title fight, definitely. So big shout out to both guys. Also want to add this before we get into the fight. I thought Bohachuk was definitely underpaid. For the work he put in, he definitely deserves some type of bonus or something. So I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. That's my personal opinion on the numbers as far as this fight was concerned. Ortiz definitely the A side, deserving of his purse. But Bohachuk probably deserved a little bit more, you know what I mean? Definitely another 6 digits should have been added. That being said, let's get into these numbers, man. First of all, we're going to start with the jab, man. I mean, we're going to see total punches thrown. It's pretty even throughout the fight. Both guys definitely concentrating on more power shots throughout the fight. Pretty close first round. We got Ortiz a little bit busier with 27-19. But obviously Bohachuk letting his hands go 79-72. We ain't gonna go through it round by round, but just taking a quick look to show you how the fight started, and it pretty much progressed the same way throughout. As obviously you're gonna slow down on landed punches and volume throughout the fight, but you can get some burst with the second wins in the later rounds, and guys definitely trying to close the show for the fans. But the jab situation, with this being a power fight, Bohachuk definitely won the jab contest to me because he threw a little bit more and was a little bit more consistent in the later rounds with the jab. You know what I mean? I think he won it because Ortiz missed a lot of jabs. It just seemed like he had to let the jab go to set his combinations up, whether he landed the jab or not. He just started his combinations off with the jab and concentrated more on the power shots after that. And as you can see, the numbers support what I'm saying. So giving the edge to Bohachuk on the jab. Power shots, pretty even. Obviously, the quicker hands, faster combinations, Ortiz. But I thought, based on eyesight and results, the power shots edge goes to Bohachuk. He was the stronger fighter to me. He obviously caused more damage on Ortiz's face. And if you look at the end results on the judges' scorecards, and it's out there on the gram and other places, I'm not going to pull it up on this one. We're going to concentrate on this boxing scene, CompuBox. But a big shout out to them for this. So that being said, though, if you looked at the fight, that right hand from Bohachuk, I mean, it was definitely snapping Ortiz's neck. People were saying, well, he was rolling with it. Yeah, he was rolling with it because that's the way his neck was going after his jaw got touched. So he ain't had no other choice but for it to roll off his jaw or his head fall off his shoulders. So I don't get where you're not recognizing the power was actually on Bohachuk's side, even though it looked as if Ortiz was, to me, struggling to throw hard shots. Like winding up, and I give the power edge to Bohachuk. To me, like you could see it facially wise. Like I said, I think that supports my opinion that he threw the harder shots, and I don't think he got the credit from the judges for that. You understand what I'm saying? Especially later in the fight, where Ortiz definitely looked like he was continuing to let his hands go in the 12th, and I mean in the 11th, and the 12th, the 10th, obviously out punching Bohachuk in some of those rounds as far as volume. But again, who was landing the harder shots? This is why I'm asking the question, who did they get it right? I don't think they did. Even the one judge that gave it the 113, that was close to being correct to me. But then we gotta pull up the knockdowns. As we finish off looking at the final punch stats, the knockdowns. So Obviously, you could maybe give or take that first knockdown. I think was in the 3rd or 4th round or something like that, where that glove touched like that. Tricky little round right there. Tricky little round, but if it touched, it touched. 2 points got to go to Bohachuk. So he's automatically up as far as in the fight at having an edge, so to speak, unless people had, unless the judges had or the fans and everybody had Ortiz just winning it from start to that point of the knockdown. So that may have brought the fight even closer to Bohachuk. Then you got to go to the second knockdown later in the fight. Still giving them 4-point advantage if you adding them up. So you telling me he done lost every other round in this fight? None of these rounds you can say went to Bohachuk based on how hard he was hitting Ortiz? Then we're going to look at the aspect of style of fight. It was your quote-unquote Mexican style fight, toe-to-toe, blow for blow, just letting them go. That being said, who chose to box, and was he forced to box? And I do believe Bohachuk forced Ortiz to box. That was his only way to try to catch his breath, catch his wind. Bohachuk was foot on the gas, coming forward, and never stopped throughout the whole fight. I don't believe Ortiz truly backed Bohachuk up in a decisive way. He never really rocked Bohachuk, even though you had heard some of the announcers saying Bohachuk is hurt, Bohachuk. I never really saw him hurt. He might have caught some decent shots, but I never saw him hurt. Ortiz for surely went down. His gloves for surely touched on those 2 knockdowns. Whether he was hurt or not is irrelevant to how you score the fight. But as far as looking at who was landing the harder shots, you cannot tell me Ortiz was punching harder than Bohachuk in this fight. Is nothing that my eyes saw me to say I agree with you when you say, oh, Ortiz was punching harder. He was not punching harder. First of all, he's not the more natural fighter at the weight. Bohachuk is the more natural fighter at 155. I don't believe Bohachuk has fought at 147 or any of the smaller weights. I think he's actually fought at 160 before. And that might have been Brandon Adams he fought at 160. So he's the bigger guy and he's the harder puncher naturally. And it showed in the fight. It showed on Ortiz's face. Both cheekbones swelled up, looking like Rudolph's nose. So I'm just saying, man, and just finishing it off, looking at these final punch stats, got to give the edge to Ortiz again. But if you look at, did his punches cause a reaction to Bohachuk? Did Bohachuk stop doing what he was doing? Did he switch up, tie up? Did he take a knee? He didn't do any of that. So I don't think they got it right now that we finished talking about this. So y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. And until the next video, keep your guard up, stay in the fight. Boxing First Vlog, I'm gone.